All right, this is going to be a very real and tactical way to close service-based sales. What I was taught or brought up in when I learned to sell is that you should qualify, 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 or you should always be closing. And that just felt greaseball to me because you're always trying to close. You become very pushy and it forces you to be very, very manipulative in nature. And if you've got to convince, persuade, push a prospect, then if they do become a client, they're likely going to become one of your worst clients you've ever have because they weren't ready to say yes to you, but you got them to say yes. Now there's all this second guessing, self doubt, and it just becomes a miserable relationship. Designed an idea, came up with an idea to kind of flip the script on this so that they would qualify themselves as I work towards qualifying them. To do this, I had to come up with a way that I could get somebody to say, hey, I'm interested in your services. How do we get started? How do we work together? To where they were asking me to do the business. So I didn't have to go for this closing maneuver, create this really, really push pull style relationship. Here's how I did it. I came up with a list of things I needed to know before I would even make an offer. There was things that I had to know. I had to know, did they have the time to put in the work, the energy, and the effort to do the things they do? Did I have the energy to work with them? Was their energy going to match mine? Was mine going to match theirs? Did they have the money? Could they afford the services? Do they have the ability to actually say yes to me? And then my favorite one is would I go actually have a cocktail with them? And yeah, that's a real thing for me because selling a service, man, you're going to spend a lot of time with that person. If you're not willing to go have a cocktail with them, what's the point, man? You don't want to do a lot of business with people that you don't like. You're going to be miserable. Once I have my list of things that I need to know for somebody to say yes to me, when I sit down on a call, I'm going to spend most of that call disqualifying them by going through each of those things and see if they can check the box. What it sounds like is as somebody starts to tell me their story, for me, and with my business and what I do, if somebody is in their first year of business, they're not ready to work with us to be able to grow and scale. They haven't been hit on the chin enough, so they don't know what questions to ask to be able to get a lot of value out of what we're doing. We need people that are probably closer to 3 4 years or maybe 2 3 years down the road. They've taken it on the chin enough times. I've always am looking for where are they on their business journey? How long have they been in business? Going off my own experience, 5 years into business now, I know what it was year one, year two, year three, year four. I know the issues and problems they faced during those times. I can really get specific on questions and things as where they're at with their business. When you think about it from disqualifying, is where do you need them to be on their business journey? You can ask those very, very specific questions, like how long have they been in business? Are they struggling with X, Y, and Z? You can, instead of saying, are you struggling with, you can use your own story. And you could say things like, man, I remember back in year three, we had really dialed into business, started figuring out what we were offering, how we were selling it. It was now the game of figuring out what's the sales process. Is that some of the things that you were looking at? You need to know all the things that they can, need to have to be able to say yes to you. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the call, like I said, figuring out if they can do or say yes to these things, right? And I'm going to do this from the perspective of teaching and pouring into them. After I make a list of things, right? Do they have the time, energy, money? Can they say yes? And do I like them? I'm going to spend the rest of the call teaching them what I know or some ideas that they could be doing with where they're at this moment in time. If I'm selling a fitness program, I'm going to start walking through what are they currently doing and going ahead and making tweaks and teaching to it. If I'm selling a marketing service, I'm going to take a look and let's look at their marketing right now. And I'm going to go ahead and give them advice on marketing. If I'm selling a consulting service or a coaching service, I'm going to start consulting and I'm going to start coaching right now. Because the idea is that I want to pour so much value into them. By the time we're done with it, I've done my due diligence to uncover, do they have the time, energy, and money? Can they say yes? And I've want to pour so much energy and time into them that they raise their hand and go, how do we do more of this? How can I spend more time doing this? How can we start working together? And what you'll find is this flips the script of traditional selling, because traditional selling would say you need to spend the entire time asking a lot of questions and qualify, qualify, qualify. I want to come at it from a different perspective, and I want to pour into them and I want to teach them so that they're getting extreme value. I want to leave that call with them going, holy hell, that was the best conversation ever. And you do that by teaching, you do that by giving them information. And here's what I found. The more you teach, the more you pour into them, the more you give them great information, the people that are going to be your DIYers likely can't afford you anyways. They're never going to raise their hand and say, how do we do more of this? Because in their head, they're thinking, man, I can do this all on my own. Good. Please go do all that on your own, because that's just going to be somebody miserable you don't want to work with. The people that understand the value, the energy you've put into learning all this stuff, man, they're going to lean in. They're going to be excited to work with you, and they're going to want to ask the questions of how to move forward. When I think about, do they have the money? I'm thinking, how long have they been in business? For me, it's right, one of my big, disqualifying moves. And if they're a year one in business, odds are they're not ready to be able to afford our services. But if they're 3-4 years in, now I'm going to get a little bit more specific. How many clients are they currently working with? What's their current business model and how are they serving these clients? And you can make a lot of cool assumptions. If they have 3 clients and these clients are paying them $500 a month, really quickly, they probably can't afford you. But if they have 20 or 30 clients that are paying you $1,000 a month, now you can make some assumptions that they have enough money to be able to afford you. This is the process of going through, pouring into them and coaching, teaching, so you uncover a lot of information of how to move forward. And what you're going to find is if you come from this teaching and pouring into them, disqualifying them by checking the box to make sure they can do all the things, then you're going to get to a lot more deals at the end where they're saying, how do we work together and how do we move forward? Try this out. Let me know what you think. And I'm excited to watch you guys play out. Feel free to ask me questions below. Put comments down on what your thoughts in this, or if I need to clarify an area. And please do me a favor and make sure you're subscribed. It means the world to me. Thanks.